Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Voice in the Wilderness. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Melanda, and I am ever so grateful that you have come to hang out with me today. I wanted to talk a little bit about time, and before I get into that, start yippee yapping about what I'm going to talk about this evening, I wanted to go to Ecclesiastes 3. And I'm going to first read verses 3 through 8, so bear with me. And it reads, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep, a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace." And as I'm reading through this, and as you're reading these words, you kind of see how it kind of sets up for this these opposites, right, in relation to time, and it kind of leads you to a place where you can see and you can kind of understand the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs of life, how life can sometimes flow. You will have times when life is ever so grand. Everything is great. You are on top of the world. Money's in the pockets, overflowing. Everybody's happy and healthy. Excuse me. And just as quickly, a bad time can fly in right behind it, right? Or you may have extended periods of times where it seems like just bad thing after bad thing after bad thing is happening. And you're like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to be able to lift my head? But these verses speak to just that, right? Just how life can be almost, I guess, a good word for it, kind of almost fluid, right? And it adds a touch of excitement to life sometimes, but sometimes it can make life so overwhelming, right? It could just feel like it's just overwhelming and hard and difficult. But there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. And I'm going to skip down to verse 11 and I'm going to read a little bit more. It says, and this is Ecclesiastes again, 3:11. "He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end." So this verse kind of clues you in because what it's saying here is that God knows all of these things. He already knows what's going to happen before it happened. God, in his mind, there's probably no such thing as time. He just knows what it is, right? And we just kind of catch up as we go along. We kind of just jump into it as we go along. And so for those of us who are stuck in a time where we are trying to lift our heads, where we are just struggling, we are trying to make it from day to day. Maybe work is difficult, family, we're having difficulties with our family or difficulties with our boss or our kids or maybe money's funny or whatever it may be that you're going through in your life. I want you to think about these verses. I want you to think about how simply within each verse, right, things changed from the beginning of a sentence to the end of a sentence, from the beginning of a verse to the end of the verse. How simply things changed. And that's exactly how things can be in life. They can change in the drop of a dime. And I want to encourage you because I want to bring it down. We're going to go down to verse 11 here because God knows these things, right? He is aware of everything that happens before it even happens. He knew it before you even got here. He knew what was going to happen. He knew the choices you were going to make. He knew everything, right? Which makes faith and communication with Him in these times all the more important. He will help you through the process. He will help you through the hard times. He will celebrate with you in the good times. He is fully aware of where you are at what point in time in your life. So my point is to trust Him. Regardless to wherever you are, whatever it may look like, whatever it may feel like, trust Him. If you say you trust Him, trust Him. Reach for Him, reach for His hand, call His name, talk to Him, and He will direct your path. He will direct you along the way. He will hold you. And even if He can't rescue you out of that moment, even if it's something that you can't go around or you can't go by or you can't go under and you have to go through, He will be with you every step of the way if you trust Him and if you allow Him to do so. So just give it to Him. Give it to Him and allow Him to be there for you. And understand that no matter what is happening, there will be a time when things will change. The sun will come out. No matter how cloudy it is, the sun will come out. There will be a time when things will change. So, I hope that what I'm saying tonight helps somebody out there. And if it did, please feel free to hit the like button. And please feel free to subscribe. I'm trying to build a family here. And I would love for you to be part of it. So that is all I have. Come back and see me now. All right. Bye-bye.